here again with Alec, talking about what it's like to own a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Roadster. This is one of my favorite cars that you have owned. We did this with the LT, the 99, I lost track, but SVJ Roadster, how is it?
SVJ Roadster is a different experience than pretty much every other car I've owned, I'd have to say.
Okay.
You know, it's definitely much more raw. It's just, you know, when I first got this car, I had an automatic mode, and I was driving. I told Syed, I was like, "What's wrong with this car?" And he's like, "You can't drive it in automatic mode. You have to put it in manual." And then I understood, you know, after driving it and, you know, living with it, it's fun because it reminds you of driving a stick shift, like a manual car, even though it's, you know, automatic, single clutch. So yeah, it's jerky as heck, but, you know, to me, it makes it where there's more driving, you know, engagement.
Okay. Whoa!
Because, as I said, I mean, you have to lift up the shift.
Yep.
So, you know, you're getting these little burbles and backfires and stuff like that. And, I mean, you're not purposely doing it because you want to make noises. You're just driving the car.
That's how the car behaves.
And it's doing that. So, you know, I personally don't like, I know we've talked about this before, like my 350R.
Yeah.
I sold it partially because it was too loud. When I put the sport exhaust and I opened the baffles, I felt like I was being obnoxious to my neighbors.
Yep.
And it was just like too braspy and loud for me, for my personal tastes.
Yeah.
So even though like the 708 Spider, the stock exhaust was too quiet, and I did upgrade it to that Akrapovich.
Yeah, how do you pronounce that?
You know, I just wanted a little bit more sound, but still, like that 350R, when you open the baffles, it was just too loud. I always kept those closed.
Really?
Really
loud.
Except for like the second day where I was like, playing with it.
Well, that's why you're a mature, responsible adult. I am still a child. So I like when my cars are loud and obnoxious. I have an exhaust for the R8 being built right now.
Yeah. I mean, but again, there are some exhausts that sound good and that I appreciate it, and then there are some that are just too loud. So I mean,
this is actually when you cold start and kind of move it around, it doesn't seem that crazy loud.
Yeah.
But once we're on the road and rolling, it sounds really good, especially with the little window open back there and no roof on it.
Top off.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you ever even leave the top on this thing?
Panels.
Top panels. Yeah.
Yeah. So usually, personally, I don't really like, even though I have tons of Spiders and convertibles, I don't like driving in hot sun. It's just like not enjoyable to me.
Yeah.
So I'll have the top up during the day. And my favorite time to drive cars are more, you know, during the
evening, heading to dinner type
nighttime,
of thing.
Early morning drives, if anything, you know, where you're enjoying the top down, the wind blowing, and you're not roasting at the same time. So,
is this the first Aventador you've owned?
This is the first Aventador I've owned.
You had Huracans before.
I had Huracans.
Yeah. So, is there anything you hate about this?
Anything I hate about this? I guess the only thing, love-hate relationship with this car would be people almost hitting you trying to take pictures.
Oh my God.
And random, like, scat pack chargers trying to race me. And I just have, you know, you're on Woodward, and right now we know that there's like a ton of cops out all the time.
Yep.
So there's like no point. There's no point for me to race, you know, a Challenger.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, whatever.
Fine.
It is,
even if it's a, you know, if it's a Hellcat, at least it might be a little fun for the beginning. But like a scat pack, there's no point, right? I mean, but those
everybody
are the ones
tries to race you.
Those are the ones that really want to, you know, race with me. So that would be like the annoying part of it. But you know, whatever. It's all fun. Everyone is just because, you know, they're a car enthusiast and they're having fun. So at the same time, it is what it is. I'm most of the time not going to race them. But you know, there's always people that are revving engines at you.
Yeah.
The love part of this, I have to say, versus all the other cars I've owned, you know, Huracan Spider before, McLaren 600 LT, even the 765 LT that I had for a week. You know, all those cars, the one thing with Aventador SVJ, when you're on the freeway, cars move out of your way when you're in the left lane going behind them. I don't have to be going that fast, but they will move out of the way, just magically, like it's the Red Sea parting.
It's parting out of them.
But the bad thing is that means you go faster and faster. Because usually I like to still, you know, stay within the speed limits and not go too crazy. But in this car, it's just hard. I mean, it's meant to go fast, and the faster you go in SVJ with the active aero, the more planted you actually feel.
So you can feel the ALA and the giant wing pushing the car down.
So when I'm going over 100 miles an hour in this car, you feel like you're super planted and like it's not a big deal.
Wow.
Like, so when I'm on the freeway and every car is moving out of the way for you, so you just have a free run. I mean, I'm very often hitting like a $120, and then I'm like, oh, I should slow down because you know,
it's so easy in a car like this, though. It's almost 800 horsepower, like.
So that's the love part of it. I do love this car in terms of just the driving enjoyment that I get out of this car. It's not, you know, it's funny when I got, you know, when I had the 765 LT and I drove that, I actually forgot about not having to lift to shift. I forgot it was a dual clutch, so I was driving it like I drove this car, and then I was like, this car feels really weird. Like, it doesn't feel as fast as I remember other McLarens being. And then I remembered, I don't have to lift, and then I just floored it, and it flew, and I'm like, oh, it's fast. But, you know, it was super fast, granted, but build quality-wise, I'm still not a McLaren. You know, McLaren, like, it had bud squeak and rattles that I just...
Even brand new in the LT.
Yeah, even brand new. I mean, that car had, there's Steve, had 1,000 miles. But it still made noises that I was like, okay, if I was going to keep this longer, I'd definitely take it back to service and be like, can you please make this rattle go away?
A friend of mine actually took his, I think it might have been a 600 LT. He like took off the R570, the entire under tray, and added extra padding and cushioning.
Yeah, I mean, the bad news is on normal roads, I mean, you're pulling second gear and you're done.
Oh yeah,
or
unless you're wanting to triple this. Yeah, this is just, that sounds good though. Crack some knobs. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
But you are planning on selling this.
I am planning on selling this.
You sell everything.
Because, well, I was planning on holding the SVJ, honestly. My plan was to hold the SVJ, an STO, my black AMG GT Black Series, and a 765 LT Spider. We'll see on the, I mean, when I'm speccing my own 765 LT, so, you know, the Spider version, so I'll see, you know, how that feels and everything. If it's put together well and I love it, then, you know, maybe I'll keep that. Black Series, AMG GT Black Series, you know, I spec that out too. So
that one is really cool.
I really want to try to keep these last non-hybridized versions of the car, so that's why I, you know, built the STO myself and did it like in a kind of a crazy ad personam where, you know, I don't necessarily think you know, if I went to try to just flip it, I don't know whether I would get all the money out of it, because, you know, that was more of a car I built for myself and not, you know, not just to get it and just get rid of it. So that car,
that is a Huracan that costs as much as an Aventador.
Or, you know, the Ultimate that I'm getting and building, like, again, I spec that out myself, so you know, that's why I'm willing to get rid of this SVJ. Also because, you know, market values right now are super high, so getting rid of the SVJ Roadster while I'm picking up an Ultimate Roadster just makes logical sense to me.
Even and if you want another one, you can get another one.
If I want an SVJ Roadster maybe down the road, if I don't like the Ultimate, then I can look at going to SVJ Roadster again. Because honestly, like, look-wise, I do love the SVJ Roadster. As I said, going down the street, you could just, you know,
the presence.
The presence of the car.
Look, the first time what was I driving? I think it was in another press car, and you were behind me, we were heading to Platinum. And I saw it on the road, and I was just like, oh my gosh. In your garage, because the garage has like an Urus and a G-Wagon and now the Black Series, it looks regular. At a car show, at a dealership showroom, you're like, okay, all these supercars. But on the road in context with just like regular crossovers and stuff, it's a spaceship. It is actually a spaceship. That's how my wife, actually, I mean, looks-wise, yes. I mean, like I said, this has presence. People move out of the way. People love looking at this car. I honestly still love how 720s and 765 LTs look from the outside. That's what drew me to, sorry, this is a Lamborghini SVJ video, but we're talking about flavor, that's okay.
But that's what I love about those McLaren 720s and 765s. personally, to me, they look like spaceships.
Okay.
To me, they look like nothing else on the road with their design, and that's why I really love them from the beginning. But you know, exterior design versus interior build quality and everything else.
Hard to beat this.
Yeah, it's still.
I think you really have to have like a 918 or like that level of car and up to get more attention on something like this, like the presence. Yeah, like the LT McLarens are epic and all, but like this is still going to just draw more attention without a doubt. It's a Lambo. I mean,
So you know,
V12 flagship.
Good and bad. My sister's boyfriend's like a former police chief, and he said with these kind of cars, if you're flying down the freeway at excessive speeds, as long as you're not too bad, like they might give you a break saying like, okay, if you're going 90, they're like, okay, you're still meaning a, you know, mediocre amount of you know, sanity in terms of your speed. But the problem is you're also going to draw a lot, right? I mean, a bright green Aventador SVJ also will draw a lot of attention. So you'll get noticed, but they might give you a slight pass. But of course, if you're going triple digits, they pretty much have to pull you over. So
that's never condone that. Only on private closed courses will you ever exceed speed limits.
Or highway on ramps or off ramps. Basically.
Are there no speed limits on highway and on ramps and off ramps technically?
Yeah, there are. But I'm just saying, you can usually see what's ahead of you on a freeway on ramp. So.
I mean.
But yeah, so this car. You know, I have no complaints with at all. I mean, it has the front lift, so if you are going somewhere where you know it's going to be a steep entranceway or, you know, exit, you lift the front end. You know, like I was looking at building the Ferrari SF90, and if you get I forgot what the name of the package is, but if you get that, you can't get front lift. Oh,
Assetto, the Fiorano or whatever,
you can't get the front lift. So I'm like, that kind of sucks, right? If you want to get the top spec, then you can't get front lift.
The best handling one can't come with front lift. And this one, honestly, like the transmission, they've done a lot to fix it. I remember the first Aventadors I drove, I was in, and they were rough. They were really, really rough. Yeah, so I mean, again, this was the first Aventador that I've owned, so I have nothing to compare it with, but obviously Syed has driven every iteration of Aventador that's been, you know, made. And he said the SVJ hands down drove the best out of all of them. It had, you know, the rear wheel steer from the S. Power-wise, obviously, as much, you know, the most power they've made so far. Even though the Ultimate is supposed to have 10 more horsepower. Yeah, I saw that.
But no active aero. So we'll see how that all balances out. I mean, I was reading that they gave it the extra horsepower so it would have the same 0 to 100 kilometers per hour acceleration. By, you know, it's because it's a little bit heavier. I think it might have a little less.
Probably more sound deadening, like less of the carbon stuff and everything.
Because it's supposed to be like their ultimate expression of Aventador S, right? So
it's not an SV model. It's not the hardcore performance version. So I'll be interested to see how you feel of that compared to this. So.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting thing just to see, because, like I said, I have zero complaints about this car, but it just doesn't make sense for me to hold it where values are so high, and I have another Aventador Roadster coming, right? So, I mean, I don't...
More than just an Aventador Roadster coming. You have more cars than time to drive. Not a bad problem to have. Not a bad problem to have at all.
Yeah, it'll be interesting next year with to see what really sticks, you know, in my mind, right? STO, obviously that's going back to the dual clutch, where I can just drive it without thinking about anything. Even though that's, I mean, you said Syed had one already and you went for a ride in it.
Yeah, it was cool.
So I don't know how that's going to drive compared to, you know, this car, the Black Series, you know, all the other 765 LT
That
Spider.
versus the Black Series are the two that really interest me, because those are kind of the most race car for the street ones that have come out recently. They're just super, like, it's a super Trofeo car that's road legal.
So yeah, that'll be really interesting. I'm excited just to see how my car looks in the steel, or aluminum, whatever it's made of, carbon. Just because the renderings that Lamborghini Studio provides you, I don't know, they're still CGI, so I feel like...
Yeah, the renderings are never able to capture exactly how it's going to look in person. So, well, we didn't talk as much about this thing, but like,
I mean,
what else is there to talk about?
ownership-wise, okay,
Yeah.
funny things about this car.
Okay.
You're talking about
Let's do that.
what are funny things with Aventador SVJ. This is a 2020 Roadster.
Okay.
It has Bluetooth, but only for telephone. You don't have Bluetooth for music. So when I paired everything up and I made a phone call, I went to go to music sources, and you know, this MMI is like the same as any old RA, right? Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, okay, let's go to music, and I couldn't find the music source. It asked me to plug it in, so there's that. But then I plugged it in, and I was amazed because CarPlay came up.
Wait, really?
So this car has CarPlay, but has no wireless Bluetooth music. So funny things with
that is bizarre. So they were able to support CarPlay, but not Bluetooth audio.
Yeah.
In 2020, in a $600,000+ car.
Yeah. So
that's fun.
There's a owner tidbit for you.
Ownership insight. The engine cover comes off before latches lift the whole thing off.
Yes. I didn't know that, but you guys.
You haven't taken it off, so
no.
Oh, that's
they took it off at service.
Alec walked out and goes, "Oh, the engine cover's off." I'm like, "Yeah, I wanted to see the engine."
Yeah. Other tidbits. Let's see. This thing tells you. So, like right now, you can see all the ALA is off.
Okay.
And then if we
it's over a certain speed, it'll start. Oh, yeah, I see it blue. It lights up blue.
Yeah,
oh, that's really cool.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So when we were doing our drive and it was raining and some cars felt squirrely, I was going over 100 and it felt like super planted, even in the rain and wet.
Okay.
So, you know, the great things about this car is I feel like it's pretty much unflappable. I mean, it's all-wheel drive. It has tons of power. You know, after you get over the shifting and how you should shift in this car, then it's great. I mean, now I enjoy it. I enjoy it more so than, you know, just dual clutches that I'm just keeping the, you know, not thinking about it and just letting it shift for me by itself like a 911 turbo, right? I mean, it shifts so fast. It's
imperceptible. Yeah. There's no engagement there with that.
Well, that's what happened when I went from 997 turbo to 991 turbo. That's one thing I didn't like about the car is I knew I was going super fast in the car, but I didn't feel anything. Without that torque converter, you didn't feel like the shifts, the punches that you felt in a 997 with a tip.
Oh, you were
with a tip. I had a tip because my wife wanted to be able to drive it.
Holy crap!
So that was like 8.
Oh my god.
Red line's 9, and that was second gear.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, I mean.
Okay, there's the rev limiter.
We hit the rev limiter.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that sounds phenomenal.
As I said, you don't really need it. I didn't feel like I really needed an aftermarket exhaust on this thing.
No, I think you're okay. Wow.
So.
All right, couple pieces of insight, couple pieces of discussion on the future cars that are coming to the garage and how this compares. SVJ is awesome. If you want to buy one, Platinum Motor Cars, this one will be listed there, right?
Yeah, this one will be listed there.
Full body PPF, low miles, well taken care of.
Yeah.
And it's well optioned, and it is an amazing color combo.
Yeah, Verde Mantis, I love Verde Mantis. You know, the Urus that we have is Oratio Borealis. I just like the pearl paints. I think they look nice.
Absolutely. They absolutely look good. The supercar should look like Skittles, and this one checks the box.
Yeah, exactly. So,
thanks, Alec.
Yeah, thank you.
It was fun. Looking for the new cars, always fun hanging out. And with that, we shall conclude this video.
All right, sounds good.